Hi all, quite a varied show and fairly packed show tonight. And that song, The Only Way Is One. And no, that is not by some Marvel Neo-based character, but the one being the all. So, Joe Biden is now in for 4 years, allegedly, when he barely looks like he will live for the next 4 weeks, never mind years. And I'm looking forward to all the press and media giving him a hard time, questioning his every statement, twisting all of his words he actually manages to get out of his mouth that is coherent. I look forward to prickly questioning time between the press and the new spokeswoman. I look forward to the big tech companies banning him from their platforms. I look forward to the BBC fact-checking every comment, statement or appearance he makes. I look forward to the BBC questioning the purposes behind every move. I look forward to the calls for inquiries and impeachments during the next 4 years. And I also look forward to when the press and media label Biden white privileged, racist and a white supremacist. I look forward to the press reporting that Biden followers are retards, racist and domestic terrorists. I look forward to the press launching witch hunts against Biden. I look forward to Biden's family coming under heavy scrutiny. But alas, we know that is not what is going to happen, is it? With the Trump Trustee Saviour programme now rendered mute or irrelevant, what happens next? Wait another 4 years for Trump to come back, at which point he'll be 78 years of age. Do people really think about having 70 plus years of age people in hot seats is a good thing for humanity? Particularly in this country with the programming and medical poisons program ran on the majority of Americans. Why not build something ourselves? The TPC was always the answer to solve our problems, but it requires people to act like adults, drop their self-importance, my idea is better than yours, and create a cohesive, actionable group formed by the people. Or you can keep your aprons on and stay waiters in the non-serving restaurant of life. Couple of things. I get lots of requests for friending on Facebook and MeWe, and I turn most of them, if not all of them, down by and large due to technical issues related to that friending. And I want to make it clear, it's no reflection on the people trying to friend me. It's just a stance I took to prevent hacking and also fun and games targeting of those connected to me. A new website solely for THI shows will be online shortly. It will be called thi-show.com. All the archives of the past shows, transcripts also, and a synopsis of each show dating back to August 2018 for easier reference points for each show when it's ready. There will be a search engine for keywords contained within each show also, and all the must-listen-to shows in date order, plus a separate section for all the From Russia with Love shows with the plus versions as well. It will contain the link to the up-and-coming show as well, as I know many of our listeners don't access our social media pages, and this will save you waiting for the YouTube archived version. Once the page is complete, the YouTube page will only link to the new website, although all archived shows will remain on there. So look forward to that. It's almost ready. There's a few background bits needs to be done, but the front page is done. Thanks to Michael Jacquin. our webmaster extraordinaire. 8 months ago, one group opened up with claims of being connected to Q and stated they would be getting Q drops. Our show questioned Q and their inactions from 3 years back. One group stated they were in with Trump and would get White House passes for all of their staff. Our group questioned as to where Trump's allegiances really lay. 8 months later, that group now denounces Trump and states he and the government were not operating for them by the people. Our group stated that a long time back. Our group created the TPC with the eventuality of leading to TPC government members over 4 years ago. One group now states Kushner along with Shabbat, which they've never referenced before in that group, created the Q movement. Our group repeatedly warned of Kushner and referenced Shabbat influence only last week, plus in From Russia with Love shows. Now, I'm delighted that they have finally realised what I and this show have been saying all along as to who the real problems are. But one always ponders how different things could have been if the person stating this now would have listened 5 years ago. And the many times I stated it in Florida, and also the many times I stated it in my new abode, working directly with her. Now, unlike them and many others, we don't get our information via rumour mill news. It really is 2014 on that site. We led and they followed. But one wonders why it took so long to recognise our input, or why they send an army of distractors into a group that clearly knows what is going on globally, given they are now following all of the THI and TPC truths and ideas. An often used term is breaking news. Personally, I love it when I hear that, as I know a validation of THI news previously is about to unfold. There are patterns. But what was the whole purpose of creating a separate group for that group to repeat the narratives, ideas and ideologies of a long-standing group? Questions on a postcard to Tank and Kim, please. We have more than enough answered questions in our group, and it's time for people to direct all their questions to where the problem really lies. You cannot spout you are in it for humanity whilst discrediting, avoiding and deliberately attempting to hijack a group that you are copying and pasting. Imitation, they say, is the sincerest form of flattery. I am flattered by their attention to us, but staggered by their divisive attitudes. I wrote this week for those who are not on social media. No fear, observe, not absorb. 45-55 is our path forward from today onwards. The rest of the alt media is into sensationalism, fake claims, and all the 2014 NPC alt media personalities are back out, largely spouting shite. I wish it wasn't, but it is. They were all wrong back then. What makes you think they're going to be right now? Even Life Force is now copying the THI and TPC model, narrative and ideas. And it still remains we were right on our calls back then, and we will be more correct than most going forward. Here's some of the claims, or one particular claim that was put forward this week. And this is a report on a show from Lifeforce. As of January the 16th, according to Kimberly and Goguin, all the military ongoings at the US Capitol were part of declaring global martial law to be implemented this coming Wednesday through a staged otherworldly invasion. Kim met with their otherworldly council members and they said, "Fine, Deep State, you want an invasion, we'll give you one." So Kim and her otherworldly enforcement have now declared war on planet Earth. Thus, it's now Star Wars on planet Earth, and she fully expects to win hands down. So let's see what this week brings. 5 days later, we still await. The claim that world hunger was ended by the same group on January the 8th of this year, despite some detailed checking in various countries, has not been borne out either. This is a warning from the common law people in the UK, and it echoes what we've been saying in this show. I'm not against common law, natural law, but you're not going about it the right way. Magna Cartas and all the other rubbish has got nothing to do with common law. But this person went into court themselves, and this is what she wrote. Our courts are totally disregarding common law. The paperwork you take into court has to be scanned because it's so contaminated they are not allowed to touch it. Then they add the cost of using the scanner onto your fine. They are not interested in anything you have to say and giving heavier penalties, in my case, for daring to stand up for your rights. That is a warning to you all. We have to be more clever than that. That's why I wanted to bring all the common law people together in the 5 or 6 groups in America. There's 3 or 4 in the UK. We need to come together and determine actionable items. Going into their courts does not work. So, America has a new president. Despite all the rhetoric of Krakens being released, mass arrests, court cases, chess moves, secret maneuvers, Trump staying in office, Biden and Harris getting arrested, Biden getting taken out in some ritual-style event, ET invasions, some being killed or sent to Guantanamo, and none of it has taken place. I personally wish many of those things would have happened, but I warned of exercising caution. But facts matter in this show, and it's not based on hopium but reality, and sometimes reality bites. The problem is not entirely believing in it, but the waiting around and doing nothing, waiting for it all to happen. It didn't. Then the question, what will it really change? The last 4 years didn't bring much in the way of real tangible progress, despite an overspend of $8 trillion. Overspend. But the It's All Happening crew, led by many, but more prolific by Simon Parkes, take away the focus of we the people. All of them. Congratulations to every single one of them named, the lot of you, as you had many convinced with your fake promises, failed date predictions, endless streams of pure drivel. All of you have played the faction role all so well. So what happens next, guys? Please enlighten us as to what's going to happen next, or, as the case may be, not happen next. Will all of you apologise for leading your listeners and followers astray? Will you give back donations based on repeated failed predictions? Will you apologise for creating a data mining database for the benefit of the clowns to use against the dissenters? Well, will you? I would love to see it, but unlike this show, no one holds the other shows to any level of accountability. Now, why is that? Perhaps the fact is that now there is only one lead group of the alt media who is not connected in any way to the establishment, agencies, factions, Masons, political party and their controlling mechanisms. Funny that, isn't it? I operate for no one except to help people to be better in themselves and then combine it with others. That's it. Whilst all the above got a plethora of predictions wrong, our show gets more and more validated by the week. Your words, not mine. Why is that? Because we have no agenda other than to help the people. Because we strive hard to obtain the truth and release it when the time is right. We don't do sensational headline-grabbing stuff, glitz and glam stated to be different, yet mirrors exactly what you say you are striving against. We don't do clickbait headlines. We do not go into other groups to disrupt or harvest their members. We do not advertise our show or gain advertising revenue from it. And most of all, we don't do bullshit. All the alt media groups have now been found out. Every one of them. And that is sad for so many people. Even some of the dual citizens in our own group. You have been betrayed by these liars or distractions. But you are guilty of the two things they have heavily used against humanity, the seducement of self-elevation and money, and the saviour program. They are old world programs designed to steer you away from doing anything. And they're not easy programs to unhook from. So don't be too hard on yourselves. They're all weight clubs. Humanity does not need more restaurants and waiters. We need grassroots action people who think in a better way. And the key is recognising it within yourself and letting it go as it has served its purpose. If not, you will carry on with the same above-mentioned distraction agents and repeat it all again. You can add the other saviour programme groups into the mix, all promising we were going to 5D in August of September of last year, with some telling people to forget about everything and just focus on going to 5D. Some spend their whole lives espousing it, yet no one has defined what would it be like. Have they? Perhaps the real answer is they don't know. And the 5D escape route is another excuse for that person to not develop themselves, and the 5D narrative is another weight club and is essentially a get-out-of-jail-free card. Think about it rationally. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card. None who follow that script have done anything to help themselves develop. It's just wait for the ETs or the 5D to arrive. One show of which 90% of it is we're all going to 5D, yet the host seems to think it is elevated behaviour to do wrong to good people who have helped him in so many ways. That is not being spiritually evolved as a being or behaviour. All of us, and I mean all, have elements of not admitting when we are or we're wrong. It is another of the deep-seated programs that echoes out of the emotion and energy fields of insecurity and low self-worth that this planet is riddled with it. People hold on to failed programs and circumstances due to not wanting to be seen as being wrong. But other people who observe can still see where you are wrong. And more importantly, your own vessel package knows when you are wrong. Why lie to yourself? What is that actually achieving? And then you hear things like, well, I don't want to admit to so-and-so I was wrong and they were right, because that means I've lost. Lost what exactly? What have you actually lost? We've all been wrong thousands of times. It is part of learning and gaining wisdom. What you have lost is only yourself. That's it. It's got nothing to do with other people. Think about that closely. It's not about the person themselves being right, although it is projected that way, but the information they gave was right. That's the important matter. If this is you, quit it. Because that is operating out of the competitive and comparative mindset. It doesn't serve any of us well doing that. It never did. Think of what you are denying yourself, the opportunity to grow in a different direction, but you still hold on to that favourite old worn out jacket because it's comfortable on the external, but it's not on the internal, is it? It's just not. The old jacket is the lie. Do you wish to continue? Or do you wish to grow? Do you wish to dim? Or do you wish to glow?